Yeah.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We're online. So let's start having our quick prayer. Master Jesus, my brother, my big brother. There are moments in your path where we feel uncertain, we feel weak, we feel in need of your love to arrive to us all eventually. But knowing that you there bring us the certitude that everything will pass. And as such, there are a lot of friends, known and unknown friends. They are suffering from physical experience, from the spirit. And I beg you to send your love to all of them, alleviating their pain and sorrows, to allow them to see a brighter future, that your peace could be with us all. So be it.
So be it.
Amen.
So let me share the book with you. And as always, does not work the first time. I need to click here and share. Why is not? Now, I'm assuming you can see the book.
Yes.
Let me increase a bit. So let's start today. This chapter we're talking about, we are reading, studying, is about meetings and societies. And today we are starting with item 332. Since concentrations and communions of thoughts are required conditions for every serious meeting, we can understand that a very large number of participants is one of the causes most contrary to homogeneity. I'll do a first stop here to speak a bit about that. To the people that are familiar with mentorship meetings, sometimes we feel more comfortable, if I can use this word, when we have a smaller number in the meeting than when we have lots of people in the room. Why is that? Because every person as an individual has different kind of perceptions and thoughts. And sometimes not everyone is feeling well in that particular day or not really focusing on the meeting as should. Sometimes when we do have members in the mediumship meeting, they are not really connected to the meeting. The coordinator of the meeting, they can perceive as some of the links of the chain are weak or broken. And it's very normal that we cannot stay 100% of the time to focus on praying or sending good energy. Sometimes our thoughts go away because we do have life away from the meeting. And sometimes when we do have some problems at home, some problems at work, or something just has happened on the street, things like that will come in our way and deviate our attention. So when things like that happen, and things like that are very natural, what we need to do is try to concentrate ourselves, try to bring our thoughts into the meeting and regain our position on the chain links. Okay? There is no set limit to this number, of course. Here Kardec says there is no limit of this number. But later on, we'll see in the Spiritism library, if you like, there are people that try to create ideal number of participants, and then I see why. Because if you have 100 guys in the same room, that will be very difficult to have what we need to perform a good leadership meeting. But it's not because we have 10 or 12 or 15 that will create a massive disruption of the meeting, right? We know that I swear I didn't read that, but it's here. We know that 100 persons are fully sufficiently concentrated and attentive, provided better conditions than 10 who are distracted and unruly. That's also very true. If I do have 100 persons that are totally connected to one objective, it's better than having 3 or 10, as it says here, that is totally thinking about anything else less than meeting. And as we all know, our thoughts are very powerful, more than we think. Our thoughts can make us sick. Our thoughts can heal us. Our thoughts can create a good atmosphere or bad atmosphere around us. However, it is also obvious that the greater the number, the less easily such conditions are met. It is, moreover, a fact proven by experience that smaller, intimate circles are always more favorable to beautiful communications for reasons we already given. We have to take into account, case by case. Let's assume that we have a meeting with 10 participants, and for some reason, somebody came to the group asking for assistance to have an opportunity to be able to develop the leadership, because he's having situations where the person or someone was led to believe is related to leadership. And then I would like to open a parenthesis here to speak about a few things that could be related to leadership. Dreams, visions, I'm listening to voices. Sometimes I feel like I'm not myself. Sometimes I feel very uncomfortable in some places. Sometimes when I get closer to some people, I felt like, wow, it's hurting me. There's so many things that could be related to leadership, and sometimes we don't even notice. And those things sometimes drive people to find or to try to find assistance. And sometimes leadership groups are not open to give the assistance they need because they are so formatted that they will tell, well, you need to start 2 years of this, 3 years of that, 5 years of that, and then you come back. And honestly, the person do not have that time. The person needs assistance now, not in 10 years' time. So my personal point of view is that is lack of charity. So we as a coordinators or as a medium, or give the name you want, we are also bound to give assistance to those that need assistance. If for any reason I've learned something 10 years ago and I'm practicing for 10 years, I am more than able to help those. If somebody came to me asking for assistance, who am I not to give assistance? This burden is on every individual who decide not to. Of course, it's not an open season that where anybody can come and go, make whatever they want. It's not like that. But it is our duty as a spiritist to give the assistance to those who have unbalanced mediumship and need assistance. Another requirement that is no less necessary is that the session, and that I will include my word here, must be regular. As ever, if you want to do something properly, we don't do one today, maybe in a month's time I'll do on a Wednesday, maybe in 3 weeks' time I decide to do it Thursday. No, it doesn't work like that. And this shows lack of study on the matter, lack of understanding how things from the other side also work, right? So we need to have a regular, serious, with a methodology type of meeting. We have, let's say, 10 people here. We may have 10 different types of methodology because I prefer to have this, I prefer to have that, and I respect that. But a methodology is a requirement because a methodology will bring people together. A methodology will allow you to know what you should be doing or shouldn't be doing during that period of time. It's not like have an open session that anybody can come anytime or leave anytime, because then you are creating a disruption. And a mediumship meeting is not just what we see. There's a lot going on that we do not see. And then it's important to be organized, be serious, be attentive to attendance, be attentive to timings, time to start. And I don't like much to make a comparison, but when we engage ourselves in our work, in our professional lives, we know there is a date, there is a time, there is a frequency. And because we are paid, most of us, I believe, would be there on time, would be there without many disruptions. On the mediumship side, it's exactly the same. The difference is we are not paid, but nevertheless, it's a work anyway. Hi, Usoli.
I have been thinking about exactly this part of because many people think we must do everything all the day, every day. Oh, everything is go on only to the spiritual study and doing and do and do. Man, I think the better, if I understood, you mean mediumship. Mediumship, of course, we must have a method, we must have a right line. So to do this one always same day, same time, and prepare and so. But we have studies too. We have many activities in the Spiritist doctrine. But I think if I have a family, I think it's better. Men know so much works. I mean, no mediumship. Mediumship is, I think, is sacred. I think so. And but activity and forgot family, forgot children, forgot everything is only do. No, I think it is my opinion. If I do know so much and I do very good what I do, I know another activity is good because I must have time to family too. I will don't forget my family, my grandchildren. So this is my opinion, and I would like to know about Guilherme because today, just in the morning, so we talked about when we studied the Evangelion to emotion in the morning.
Let me
So,
see if I understood your question.
I don't know it, but yes, I know I don't have good English, but
Yeah, but I think what you're trying to is to highlight that family is also an important part of our lives, even if we do have mediumship to attend to. And you wanted to know what is my take on that, right? I'll be, I've been asked that a few times over the years. And we normally like to find excuses not to attend to our responsibilities, our spiritual responsibilities. Quite often, people use family as an excuse. I need to do this, I need to do that, I need to do that. And I never can dedicate time to mediumship. Oh, I'm sorry. This day, this time, I need to be with the family. This day, it is a choice. Nobody is forced to be here. Nobody must be here because we are saying so. No, it's your choice.
I would like to
Nine
be
out of,
here.
9 out of 10 times, people decide not to be in the spiritual or religious appointment, because it's not just in relation to mediumship, it's related to anything in life, to be on the bar drinking, to be watching football, to be doing something that perhaps is not that important for the eternal life. So the individual has the freedom to make their own choices in life as ever. But any choice we do, as the law of cause and effect, will come to us eventually. So the most important, I say to people, you need to be happy with your choices and with the consequences of your choices. So if you think that you should give only 1 hour per month to your mediumship activities, so be it.
Because, Guilherme, in the morning, today, somebody said, "Oh, my wife say, oh, you only spirit doctrine, spirit do it that. Now I must do to drive to another thing is there to do something, and you don't have a time to." And I don't know if I have been inspired, but I said, better do not mediumship. No, it's not. It was only study of it was a spirit book, and this we have every Saturday in the morning, and I said, people, is they have problem house. If they have a problem because of this or this, so better at use it than your mind to think about quality, because it better to do activity, not mediumship. Mediumship is not sacred. Mediums must do so.
So
But this activity better instead have all the 8 activity in the every day, and it works too. It works too. This was just tired. Oh, no, they said to me, I would like you to study with me, but it's in the middle of the night because they're a long way that country. And I say, better at do not so, your wife say, and I must agree with her, do uh, so not so much, but very good quality. They good spirits, they be very happy to with us.
we
So
have two things.
something.
We have two things here. Everything will happen to avoid you to do things that are spiritually positive for you. You will have wife, husband, kids, neighbors, friends, father, dad. They will come exactly when is the time where you're supposed to be dedicating yourself to some positive activity like we are doing here now. Why is that? Because same way that we also have people trying to give us incentive to do so, there is a group that do not want us to move in that direction.
Mm.
So it's up to the individual to create routines that between 8 o'clock in the morning and 9 o'clock in the morning, I have a commitment, period. On the beginning, people will come to you, events will happen to deviate you from there. But if you persist, it stops. And then people know, well, yeah, I cannot call John because John between 8 and 9, he's busy. I'll call him 9 then. And things start to get working around you. Likewise, there are situations where the person is trying to find excuses not to be there. And it's not my problem, it's your problem. You will get the consequences of your choices. And sometimes the person tries to find excuses saying, well, I need to go there, I need this, I need that. But in reality, it's not because somebody is calling me, it's not because because I don't want to be there. So anything is a good excuse not to be there. Again, it's the person's choice. But somebody saying to me that we cannot accommodate our family life with the Spiritism, sorry. Practices show otherwise. We can. And sometimes we have in a couple, the husband is a Spiritist, the wife doesn't like the Spiritism or decide to go in a different avenue, and they do anyway. Because regardless that one is going on the avenue A, the other one goes to the avenue B, they are human beings that respect each other. Oh, that's okay, my dear. I know that you from Saturday from 10 to 11, you're going to be in your activity. In the other way, me on Monday between 2000 and 2200, I also have my commitment doing my worship as I see fit. It's down to the individual, right? So at every meeting, we can always find the spirits who we might call customary frequenters, but we do not mean spirits who are everywhere and meddle in everything. Instead, we are referring to protector spirits or those who are most frequently evoked. Yesterday, I was speaking with a lady where she was also highlighting that in the Spiritist movement, we do not evoke anymore. And I don't see why not, and I don't see why for. Depends situation to situation. Depending what you're going to do, depending the work that you will do, right? Evoking a spirit just to ask for mundane things is a no-go. Evoking a spirit because you need some assistance for a particular point of view or for a particular activity, why not? But people are afraid to do so. Do not think these spirits have nothing better to do than listen to us. However, a lot of people think that the spirits are really available 24/7. I need to ask this, I need to ask that, I would like to know this. And to the point that sometimes the person has a difficulty even to make a decision on the normal day-to-day life, because before I make that call, I need to ask the spirits to know what they think. That's not the way to do. They have their own duties and are sometimes in no position to be evoked at the moment. We started our study today talking about organization, time, responsibility. A mediumship meeting, a serious mediumship meeting, we have two main components, the incarnated components and the discarnated components. Sometimes the incarnated participants believe the spirits are there waiting for the whole week to have that meeting and they have nothing else to do. And that's not true. They do have their activities and they do have way lot more activities than we do. And if we plan to have a meeting Saturday for 10 to 11, they will get around, they will plan themselves, they will get organized to have the proper assistance, the proper support for the 10 to 11. So you must start at 10 because that is your contract. You sign a contract that for the activity, I will start from 10 to 11 and they will be ready. If you want to have a proper, serious support from the spiritual world, we need to do our part. We need to be serious as well. And Why we cannot extend that too much after this agreed period? Again, they have other activities. And if you have planned a meeting for 1 hour and you end up doing two, chances are for the last an hour, you are not having the same type of support or protection you would desire. Hi, Camila.
I would say that the I feel like, for example, when we have the meeting on here, right? I felt that on Friday I had assistance already, right? So I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but my impression is that it's so serious, it's so important. We have a commitment that the spiritual world came and help us to prepare our home, prepare our environment, ourselves before indeed.
Yeah, you're totally right. There are people that believe that the meeting starts at Saturday 10 in the morning. But the preparation, and they believe people will just gather at that time. But the preparation sometimes need to be way in advance. We don't get involved in that in theory because we're supposed to be doing our bit as well, thinking positive things, watching out the way we eat, and a few other things. But from the spiritual world, they are organizing things way in advance. And for example, if my home is not 100% organized, they will start to organize before. So when you start your activity, will be as per plan, right? So there are activities we do not see, sometimes even ignore, but it does not say they do not exist, right? Sometimes you can see in Andrea Luiz books, for example, that the spirits they come earlier to cleanse, in the lack of better word, to cleanse your environment, removing uh, thoughts, for example, that are not in line with what you're going to do, removing even spirits that are not supposed to be there during the execution of the activity, and things like that. I also do.
This is a kind of a mediumship but meeting. But it was there in São Paulo because my husband there, my son died. My husband there, he believed it anything, but he was a wonderful medium, and there come many spirits through him. But oh, Guilherme, spirit to come to me, to wake up me to go that where he was. It was a big apartment. Uh, and I come there, yes, would you help me, help me, help me. So, this is, and I immediately, I did a ban, a ban. I banned, and this is why my prepare, my prepare it was good, and I talked with him, and so I'm very inspired because I feel that it was a spirit with me to help me to help him. Then their brother was the situation, and it happened not one time, many times. So, and it talk and so sense up and it calm and calm and calm and so it's happened because we talk about the method of we um a couple of 1 year, 1 hour after. So we have our meeting, but it's organized, and you have were there, or Pablo, or Munir, and but alone. I think I would like to know about if it happens with Camila, maybe Alessila, or you. come, when the spirit. So say, nay, not now. It's not time. It's not. We can't. I can't. My heart say, no, help. If you can, help. So it would like is if is what do you think about this? I
I'm not
cannot.
sure I understood the question, but I think you're talking about having spirits when it's not a dedicated time for the meeting. And if that is the question, I would advise the medium not to engage in any mediumship outside the meeting, especially because, well, I'm speaking about beginners not to engage with mediumship outside the mediumship meeting because you will be by yourself. You will have no support that could help you. So I would not advise to do. Okay? I'm being specific to beginners. So we have another hand. Hi, Sila.
I'll be quick. I just want to give two quick examples of what happened to me in regards to what you're saying. So I have meetings here, just the Gospel According to Spiritism every Tuesday, and it's quite funny because I come early to prepare the place myself, to do a prayer, to elevate, to greet whoever spirits are here. But also, before I come, I can feel like who is not gonna come, who's gonna come, who, you just kind of know, and you kind of prepare yourself for what to say in the best way. And also one time I had somebody come from Brazil that is a little bit of a spiritual person, that does a lot of healing and is a medium. And I woke up the day that I was gonna get this person to the airport, not think of anything. I just woke up, and I swear when I went to my downstairs, my house was illuminated. I could see this almost this pink light bright coming from the corner of my living room. And my dog, I call him the medium dog, he also was running around the area. I could see there was something different. So it's a preparation, for what's about to happen. So they're doing that before we even think about it.
Mhm.
So yeah.
He is more real than we think. And it happens in so many different ways. And that
I think I think it's the same. I think it's the same, Sheila. They help us before we before already there. It's happened to me in São Paulo many times. It wasn't a mediumship meeting. No, no, no. But it's happened.
Mhm.
Sorry.
Very good. When meetings are held on set days and fixed hours, they make themselves available at such a time and rarely fail to appear. Some even take punctuality to an extreme. They might be offended at only a 15 minutes delay. And if they were the ones who set up a meeting in the first place, it will be useless to evoke them before the appointment time. When everything is agreed, there's no issue. When we agree with someone that I'll be there at that particular time, be there because you agreed with someone to be there at that time. I know that some parts of the world that's not a habit, but it shows the seriousness about the people that are involved in this agreement, or in our case, the people that are involved in the mediumship meeting. Nobody's forced to do, nobody's forced to go, but once you have agreed day and time, should be there. And a good practice is we close the door. If you're not there on time, sorry, you missed. Because we need to start in a certain time. And as such, in the physical mediumship meeting, we physically close the door. because we must have an organization. And imagine how difficult it would be to the benefactors to organize something. If today you start at 8, tomorrow 8:10, after tomorrow 8:15, and you're showing how serious you are to start with. Nevertheless, we would emphasize that although spirits prefer regularity, the truly high order ones are not so meticulous. I don't know. I won't mention my own point of view in regards to that. But if average spirits are paying attention to that, I don't think particularly the high elevated orders will not. Hi, Camila.
I don't know. I might be wrong, but when I read, what came in my mind of understand is like the high order is more understanding more our flaws, right? It's more elevated, right? So sometimes can be more, okay, we understand that is an individual that he has so much to learn yet that you get mad, right? There are other ones that are more closer to us.
I think
Get
that,
mad, I think.
yeah, I think what you're saying can be understood like that, but I think we can also understood like that as a nice excuse to justify that why we are disorganized, right? Because if it was your employment, the one you get your salary on the end of the month, you knew you would have repercussions in your poor time management, right? So there's no difference here, right? I totally don't agree with that version because I think we as a human beings, we can be organized if you want. If we are truly committed, yes, we'll be there on time. Hi, Munir.
Oh, hi, Guilherme. Hi, everyone. Yes, I think it's not very clear what Kardec is trying to say here, but what I understood, what I grasped from this passage is that he's talking about the spirits who are evoked at a certain time. And some of them, they're so strict regarding the time they set to you and say, 8:15, I'll be there. So if we evoke them 15 minutes later, they will feel offended. If they feel offended, they are not elevated spirits. And what Kardec is trying to say is that some people is very strict in regard to calling them, evoking them. But I think it's essential that the meeting start at the right time. In terms of organizing everything, it's important. Discipline, so it's essential. But in this case, I think he's more talking about the spirits who are rigorous. You call me at 8:16. And if you don't do that, that's it. I won't be here. That's what I grasped from this. It's more an individual perception of things than a collective. Because it's essential for any serious institution and group to set a time to do things in an organized, disciplined way.
I'll put myself in that situation. After I die, if you have an appointment with me, be there on time. Otherwise, I will not come. All right? I will not. The reason being, I have other activities to do. And if, in my understanding, if I'm more elevated, I have more activities. Because through the books of André Luiz, for example, we see that if you're elevated, you have no time to do anything because you have one activity after another. So I will not be free just waiting for you to call me to come back. So I hear what you're saying, Munir. Yeah, it does make sense, but we'll see. When we die, Munir, we'll see.
Yeah.
So, yes, Sila?
I think the word offended might not be. I think it's not a matter of offense. I think it's also when you see in André Luiz, when the spirit come, he doesn't always come by himself. He also bring other spirits that need to hear what we're gonna say. They need to hear. So imagine it's not just him, whatever they do in the spiritual, put their clothes, brush their teeth, and coming. They also make the I don't know, like programming to bring all these other spirits, lower the energy, higher the energy, whatever they need to be present there. So it must be a lot of work for them to, also to come and nobody's there, So that's what I think.
I agree. I agree with you. And there is another thing before I pass the mic to Charles. There's another thing. Imagine that particular day you were supposed to give voice to one spirit. Because you also had to go to a cinema that day, you decide to go to the cinema, and what's going to happen with that spirit that's supposed to be giving voice through you? When he or she will have another opportunity. If I'm not well, I was really dependent on that communication to get better. And because you went to the cinema, I didn't have the opportunity. I won't be happy with you either. So there's a lot of things we can take on board when we decide not to fulfill our commitments. Hi, Charles.
Yes, good morning. Also, the more elevated the spirits are, the more they have this faculty to be at several places at several times, ubiquity, and also they can read perfectly in our minds that our intention was just neglecting to go to cinema, or there was some other force majeure event who led us to be a little bit late.
Actually, you're bringing a good point. There are several types of events. That's a cinema type of event, but there is my kid had to go to the hospital, right? So we need to take into the balance what is the true reason why we are not there. And we all have as well professional commitments. Well, I'm going to be traveling today. I cannot be in the meeting. It happens. It's natural. Well, I'm going to a party today because, well, it's a bit different, huh? Right? It's a bit different. Some people do prefer to go to parties instead of going to the appointments per se. But it's a bit different. The weight is a bit different. Well, I had someone just felt in front of me when I was in my way to go to my meeting. Charity first. Charity first, always first. But then if every day you had to go to the meeting, someone falls in front of you, you need to start to think about it. Why? Exactly on the day, the half an hour before my meeting, everyone gets sick in front of me. There is something not normal. Because that could also be happening to prevent you to go. So there are cases and cases. We just need to be open and we need to be attentive to analyze every single possibility, okay? The demand for a strict punctuality is a sign of being lower within the hierarchy, as is anything else that is plural. I may be talking because of me here, but I do not agree with that. Time to start is time to start. That's the way I've learned. With everything in life. Time to start is time to start. Time to finish, then we have a flexibility. Because depending on the need, depending on the communication, depending on the seriousness of the case, you continue doing support. You're not going to, 9 o'clock, that's it, sorry, stop the conversation, that's it. If you want, return next week. No, it's not that. But in regards to rigidity to time to start, could be my own default, and that's one amongst many, but time to start is time to start. Spirits may even appear outside set times, and in fact, will appear willingly if the subject matter is important. This is something else, in my opinion, because we do have responsibilities, we do have things, but we do have things that are not planned. In our day-to-day life, we also have things that are not planned. This is something else. Hi, Munir.
I can, please correct me if I'm wrong in my perception. But what I understand is that, you know, this time the meetings were very much based in evocation. And I think they're talking more, Kardec's talking, in my perception, more about the time we evoke certain spirits than the start and the end of the meeting. As I said before, it is essential that we are regular, punctual. I find the work of mediumship, mediums, dialoguers, and all participants should, set their time for this type of work. It's important for the harmony of the group that all the members are present regularly in the meet. But I think my perception, I may be wrong, but in this case, is that he's talking about certain spirits that want to talk at certain time within the meeting, and if there is delay, in calling them, they may feel offended by that. That's what
Maybe.
my perception from what Kardec is saying here and the situation he's presenting here.
Maybe, yeah.
You see, some may be attracted by the subject, so the meeting is it's going on, and some spirits say, "Oh, it's interesting, the subject they are talking that," so they come, and that's my perception.
Makes sense. Totally makes sense. Yeah, I was not reading like that, but totally makes sense. Yeah, I agree with you. Now that you're saying, Munir, I'm reading with a different pair of eyes. Yeah. Good one. There's a hand. Hi, Camila.
One thing that's what I was saying as well. Like, we are very lower spirits, right? For sure, we are in the earth. We are very lower grade. Yet we are very far away of the high, pure spirits. And in my perception, when we have the spirits that help us, they can be better than us, for sure, but they are not like Jesus. They are not like the high, most elevated ones. They need to be closer to us as well. Otherwise, they cannot help us, right? So these ones, you'll get mad. Like, Guilherme, if you die and I ask your help, you get mad with me, right? Jesus maybe is like, okay, I understand. More like that. I don't know.
Maybe, but the amount of experience we had dealing with the spiritual world. They come, they say what they have to say. Now we need to go because we have another work. I never met a spirit that came, well, I'm here to have a chat with you. How was your day today? Is that all right? Can we have a coffee, by the way? No, I never saw that, right? I always saw spirits that came for a specific purpose, a specific activity. When they finish, I saw many times, do you have any other question? Do you have anything else? Because if you don't, we have other place to attend. Very polite, very friendly, but very direct. In other words, I don't have time to waste. Because they don't. Let's call a spirit A. You choose a name. Let's think about Brazil, where we have millions of spiritists, let's say thousands of spiritist center. And from this thousands of spiritist center, this spirit may work with 10% of it. And he have to be jumping from A to B, C, D, to be able to do what he put himself into it, right? So, Camila, have you finished? Yeah, ciao. Goodbye. I'm gone. I need to go somewhere else. Oh, Munir, I'm here. How you doing, Munir? Yeah, that's it, Munir. Okay, go. Because they have plenty of activity. I'm being funny here, but it's on those lines. They have no time to waste. I haven't seen any spirit that we call a bit more elevated than us having time to waste. I haven't seen it. Maybe you guys did, but I didn't. So I think time is the essence. Being organized, plan, and everything is, to me, is a must. But as Munir said, if we are in the meeting, sometimes even the spirits come, well, I was attracted by the light. I was just seeing you talking about some, yeah, they could come in a meeting, but they are not part of the organization of the meeting per se, right? It's not hermetic. It's not closed to the point that the spirits will not be able to come. But then we need to make a difference between that flexibility on the spiritual side to our flexibility. It's not because when a spirit was attracted by the light or whatever, came to the meeting, that anybody make, well, tomorrow come, or tomorrow no come, or if I see fit, I'll pop up between 9 and 10, and it can become very messy. Nothing is more harmful to the reception of the worthwhile communications, however, than evoking them at random on a simple whim or without a serious reason. If you plan to do evocations, it's better to plan in advance. It's better to have a methodology. It's better to have a reason. It's better to be organized to do so. And then the spirits, they will know that that particular day, that particular time, there will be an invocation for that purpose. It's not like we end a leadership meeting. Well, I want to call Elvis Presley. I want to see Elvis Presley singing to us here in the meeting. Come on. It's not a serious reason. We don't know if Elvis is incarnated or discarnated. We don't know if he's busy or if he's not busy. We have no need to hear his singing because we can go on Spotify and put on music and listen to him when he was incarnated. So what do you think is going to happen? Will come a spirit that will pretend to be him, to have fun, to burn your time, to disrupt whatever you think you're doing. Okay? Oh, we still have a couple minutes.
Can you enlighten more about invoking? Because, for example, the virtual passes, right? The virtual spiritual reading. Like many times happens that I'm very stressed or with problems in my life or whatever. Once I did, came an old lady to help me, the spirit, right? I could not have be concentrated. She was mad with me, as you said. I came in here, I'm trying to help you, you think or not? That I'm going, right? You want to help or not, right? But is that a kind of invoking as well? What exactly is invoking?
Okay. I'm thinking about Camila. Camila, she could help me. Oh, she knows way better than me this thing, and she could help me. I'm evocating you already. And you are incarnated. Sometimes when I think thoroughly about someone, the person can even feel like, Have you ever had a situation where you just had the phone ringing and there was seconds after you thought about that person? What is that? You were able to perceive that the other person that was calling you was thinking about you. That is an evocation. But the evocation that Kardec is saying here is when in a meeting, I am planning, sorry Elvis, I'm planning to call Elvis Presley to be present in our meeting. So do we know if he's busy? Do we know if he's not busy? Do we know if he's coming? Blah, blah, blah. We already spoken about that. So this is an evocation. But to do an evocation, call a spirit by its name, we never know if it's the spirit who will come to answer. So if you're going to do something like that, it's better that you have a trust relationship with your benefactors, the benefactor of the group, before ask the benefactor, would be positive, would be okay if I asked Elvis to be here? And if the benefactor says yes, you can call him. And then you start to have a little bit better security for your intent. But just get a name out of the blue, let's invite someone to come. No. But this is the evocation in terms of evocation in a spiritist meeting. But as I said, if I'm thinking about someone, if I'm speaking about someone, if I'm speaking about a spirit, if I'm thinking about a spirit, I'm evocating already, because I'm attracting their attention, and sometimes they even come to us. So we need to know what we're thinking before we think, in theory. Because sometimes if I'm thinking too much about something, I'm attracting. I am attracting. And I'll give another example that is also not in line of what the Spiritism calls evocation, but is an evocation nevertheless. I'm watching a film that's not positive, and we know could be several types of films, but pick one film that's not positive, and I'm starting to vibrate in that energy. I'm starting to think on that energy. What do you think you guys are doing? You are inviting spirits, if not that spirit, to come closer to you. This is also an involuntary invocation, if I can say like that, because sometimes we do without thinking. So we need to realize the power of our thoughts. We need to realize that there are things that we do not take into account. They're real. Power of thought. Well, let me speak a little bit about quantum entanglement. It has been proven by science that you can take things on the end of the universe, and if you vibrate here on Earth, they will vibrate exactly the same on the end of the universe, creating a kind of resonance between the two parts. This is on a cellular level. This could be on the individual level. That's why when we are thinking about our benefactor, they know. They may not be there next to you, but they know. They are there vibrating with you. So our thoughts are very powerful, very powerful. And as I see Raphael coming into the room, that means that it's time to finish for me. And it's time to Raphael to start. So let me do something here, Raphael, before you start. So I minimize the amount of the stop share. I did stop share. So now let me just